Hello everybody, I'm Mina, and today we're going to go through a 20-minute end of the day practice where we're going to be really lazy. We'll cool our body down because it's pretty hot with some pranayama, and we'll also put our legs up a sofa or chair so that the puffiness and the swelling in the feet can go a little bit down. We'll also open the back sides of the legs so that we can induce a little bit more calm so we can get ready for a good night's sleep, hopefully. If you'd like to put your legs fully up against the wall, if you have that mobility in your hamstring and that's something that you really like, you can also do all the practices that way. I have a little blanket here so that my head is just a tiny bit elevated. And I'm going to explain the pranayama we're going to do lying on the back while I'm seated here so you can see me. So we're going to go through either shitali or shitkari. So shitali would be inhaling through a rolled tongue so that the air moving in gets cooled. But this is a genetic thing. Some people cannot do it. And if you can't, no problem whatsoever. In that case, you just breathe in between your teeth. And then exhale through the nose. We'll repeat this a few times once we're down on the floor. You can practice here with me. So again, either inhaling through a rolled up tongue like a taco or burrito, or between your teeth, and then exhaling out through the nose. Nice. Good. We'll do that and a little bit more breathing once we're on our backs. But for now, I say let's get into the comfy position. I have a little armchair here, and just the bolster or the cushion that was on the back, I just put here so that the feet are just a tiny bit more elevated than the knees. When you come into legs up the wall, you move your buttocks pretty close to the wall or the chair. And you slowly lie down and put the legs up. And I'm going to wiggle around here just a little bit to find a position where I can fully be comfortable. And if you just legs sort of splay out or roll in, no problem. We just want a bit of elevation. If you can bring your hands onto your belly just for a moment to feel that your back body is arriving here on the mat. If you like to roll the blanket so it's kind of making a little nest for you, you can do that as well. And that also elevates the head a little bit more. Nice. From here, we're just going to start with bringing one knee to the chest here. Continue to breathe deeply. And this is a really soft practice. We're not trying to create any heat. We're not trying to achieve anything. We're just gently moving into our hip joint. If bringing the knee close to the midline feels a little bit tight here, you can open it out a little bit more to the side. Wonderful. And from there on, we're going to interlace the hands behind the thigh. We're going to gently inhale, move the leg towards the ceiling. This knee doesn't have to straighten whatsoever. As soon as you start to feel a gentle stretch, you're good. And then exhale, bending the knee again. Inhale, moving towards straightish. Exhale, bending the knee. Keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. Inhale. Reaching the heel towards the ceiling. Exhale, bending the knee. Last time we're going to stay up. Again, no need to feel an intense stretch here, just a gentle opening of the back body. And then you can start to circle the foot out and in. And letting the breath continue to move in and out. Great. And then we're going to slowly switch sides. Just checking in for a moment. And then you can bring the other knee in towards the chest. As always, the side might feel very different. Just observing. Nice. I'm wiggling the knee a little bit further to center, a little bit outward. You can stay completely still. Nice. Stimulating the digestion slightly. And from there, interlacing the hands behind the thigh. And again, softly extending the leg towards the ceiling on an inhale. And then exhale. Bend the knee. Inhale. Lengthening the leg. Exhale to bend. 2 more rounds. And next time your leg is straight, and just stay there, find a good angle for you, and then start to move your ankle one direction and the other, allowing the blood to flow back towards your pelvis. Nice, especially when it's so warm, the blood vessels get really dilated, and the ability for the body to pump the blood back in towards your torso gets a little bit compromised. So allowing some gentle inversions is wonderful. Great, and then releasing both legs back onto your sofa. We're going to do one more asana or stretch. I'm going to bring the first leg back in and then cross the ankle on top of the thigh. Now this might be enough for you. You might feel already a sensation in your outer glute of the bent knee. You can also press the knee slightly away from you. And if this is a good stretch for you, you can already stay there. Or if you don't really feel much yet, you can hold on to the back of the other thigh to move into a more classic figure 4 stretch. And then just enjoying the opening that you feel. Head supported, shoulders, upper back, or down on the floor. And no need to come lying down on the back and then really use your core to lift yourself up and to shake here. No, if that's the case, then just extend your leg back onto the sofa. And see how lazy you can get. Sometimes it feels good to rock a little bit side to side, like you're cradling a baby. Wonderful. Let's take one more breath here. And then slowly release the bind. Release both legs back onto the sofa or the wall. And we'll do the same on the other side. Bending your other leg, crossing it onto your thigh. And again, this might be where you stay. Or perhaps you like to bend the extended leg and Feel into your outer hips this way. I also feel this more in your inner thigh, depending on your body structure, on what you did today. You might feel it in different places of the body. Just make sure your knee is not complaining in any way whatsoever. If you want to sigh in between, you can sigh. Again, upper body is lazy. Wonderful. And then slowly releasing. Interlace of your fingers, extending both legs onto the sofa. Let's interlace the hands and then reach the hands up. Lengthening here, both sides of the body. I'm going to flatten out my pillow just a little bit so that I can bend a little bit over to the side. This is like a half or crescent moon stretch, or half a banana because the legs are still straight. It's just the upper body is taking the most supported, delicious side bend. Nice. And then slowly coming back to center and over to the other side. Breathing into your side ribs. And releasing the sides of the body. Helps us to really allow the breath to move into your entire lungs. Helps soften the muscles that are responsible for breathing. Great, and then slowly coming back to center again, lengthening everything. Awesome, and then slowly, let's bring the hands just into cactus for a moment. We're gonna cat-cow the spine, just very gently. So as we inhale, you can think about opening the front of the body. Maybe you can slide a credit card or just something tiny under your lower back. So there's just a little bit of space. And then as you exhale, you can press your belly button in towards the floor and activate your core just a gentle bit. A few more times. Inhale, opening the front of the body, coming into a baby back bend. Mini. And as you exhale, pressing your belly button towards the spine. Perhaps your hips tilt a little bit. Let's do this 2 more times. With your breath. Nice. And from there, we're going to bring the knees a little bit closer. Maybe you can sort of bring the feet onto the ledge of the sofa. And then slowly allow both knees to fall over onto one side. If you want to place a cushion in between your knees, you can do that. And perhaps extending out the arms in a T position, cactus. If it feels good in your neck, you can also look to the left. And then enjoying the twists that is happening in your spine. The changes that are assisted by gravity. And the opening that is facilitated for the breath. Nice. So Ayurvedically, when it's hot, this is the element of fire that we're experiencing in the summer. We can counter that with the element of earth, for example. So earth in itself has a cool quality. And so by grounding, becoming heavy, we also allow a coolness into the body. Wonderful. So you can gaze up and then bring the knees over to the other side. And again, the side might feel different. Perhaps you like a cushion in between the knees. If it supports you, you can look towards the right. And another element that we can use to counter the heat of the fire is obviously water. So as you move, you can invite a sense of liquidity, fluidness. It's the opposite of moving in a jerky manner. Water has no edges. But water likes to pool and sink down towards the lower parts. So that's where water sort of slowly moves over into the qualities of earth. Wonderful. Slowly gazing back to center. Let's come back to the middle. Again, hold on to the knees and just draw small circles one direction and the other. If the sofa's in the way, you can also just hug yourself for a moment. From here, we're going to move into our relaxation and our breathing. So if keeping the legs up the sofa doesn't feel good anymore, you can just lie flat on the floor. I'm going to keep my legs up the sofa because it feels yummy. And I'm going to bring my hands onto the lower belly because we're going to move our breath a little bit lower. So the lower the breath, the more grounded. So the chakras, or the energy centers of earth and water, are down at the base of the spine and in the area, sort of 3 fingers below our navel. So we're going to move the breath into those areas. We'll actually start with that. So for a moment, continue to breathe through your nose, in and out. And sending the breath that's entering through your nose down low into the pelvic floor, into the lower belly, to ground the breath. If you like the visual of the ocean, which is also water, you can imagine that your belly is rising like a wave. And then with an exhale, sort of ebbing like the wave. Water coming and going. And also releasing your pelvic floor consciously here. Allowing the pelvic floor to soften. And when we stand all day and are active all day, to some degree the pelvic floor is active, which is good because it's keeping our organs where it's supposed to be, helping us to send the breath further up as we're active. And but now towards the end of the day, as we're here, we can soften, release. Perhaps you use the inhale to create some space. And as you exhale, you can even visualize an opening, softening, melting. Take a few breaths here, moving the belly. Also allowing the breath to slow down. Inhaling a tad longer. And then exhaling another tad longer. Especially focusing on the exhale. So the more we extend the exhale, the more we activate the parasympathetic nervous response, which is responsible for resting, digesting, and which is crucial for our ability to induce sleep. Great. And then we're going to go into either shitali or shitkari breath, like I explained when I was seated up. Inhaling through your rolled up tongue. If that's not possible, no problem. Inhaling between your teeth to allow the coolness of the breath to move in down all the way into your belly. And then you gently exhale through the nose, perhaps with the intention to slightly lengthen the exhale. Let's take 6 rounds here. Inhaling through tongue or teeth. And then exhaling through the nose. Again, inhaling through the tongue or the teeth. Keeping the breath low and exhaling through the nose. Continue at your own pace, keeping the breath down low in your belly, keeping the focus on the exhale. And if you like, you can start to get curious towards the end of your exhale, where the exhale turns into an inhale. Maybe there's a sensation of stillness, a tiny pause, a tiny moment of spaciousness before you inhale again in between your teeth or through the rolled up tongue. Let's take 2 more rounds at your own pace. Keeping the upper body lazy. Wonderful. And if you can just log roll over to your bed, or maybe you are already in bed, you can just stay there. Slowly, perhaps extend the arms. Moving your wrists and your toes. Maybe you like to interlace the hands above your head. Bring the knees to the chest. From here, we're going to roll on to one side, left or right, your favorite side. You can sigh here. Smile to yourself. Tap yourself on the shoulders for moving through the day. And then slowly come onto lying on your bed. Just fall asleep, or if you need to do a few more things to close the day, you can sit up for a moment and join me in closing the space. Once you're seated, if you like, you can bring your hands into your heart and then lift the heart towards your thumbs. And perhaps gently bowing your brain towards your heart center, humbling your intellect towards the wisdom of your heart. And I thank you very much for sharing this practice. Namaste. Have a good night.